Hey everyone, welcome back. We've got a lot of repetition in the news today.
Yeah, we got a lot of news.
We got a lot of news, but we got a lot of like subjects and stuff like that that I just laugh because like I read like comments people say and stuff like that like across the board, and I'm just like, my God, people, like you really are all lost on like what's happening right now with the industry and where things are going, and like
Yeah.
it's wild. Anyways, we'll get into it. So why don't you kick us off?
All right. First things first. We're not going to talk with what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about how Battlefield 6 open beta is taking place this weekend, and as right of this recording, there's on Steam. I don't know if there's on consoles. I don't know if it has on consoles. I don't care about the series, but if they do, who knows their numbers? 513,865 people in game. It is massive. There's tons of people on Twitch. It's amazing how people's perspective of value, dude. It's a $70 game. Everyone says it's worth it, but then there's the haters that say it's just recycled junk. Anyways, the feedback of it is really good, minus the server issues. I don't know why these betas have so many service issues, because I think the company's underestimated. But anyways, Battlefield 6 is supposed to be good. I actually have it. I was going to install it, but I need an EA account. I don't think I have one. At least I don't remember the last time I played an Electronic Arts game. So that goes to show you. I guess I'm going to have to give him and make one. Eventually, EA will have something I like. I'm not usually into these type of games, but yeah, DICE makes it, and they're usually really, really good. They make the Battlefield for Star Wars, which was a really good game. That's on Game Pass, by the way, too. But yeah, I'm not usually into these type of shooters. But yeah, it's huge. Who would have known, right? But that kind of goes back to what that Sony executive said when we were listening to that podcast and we talked about it. I hope you guys did get a chance to review it. He said it's kind of daunting or sad when it's the same garbage. Or he didn't say it like that. The same games are played year after year. So it is kind of sad. And we should dedicate a podcast to we'll do our homework, analyze numbers and trends and why gamers just stick one of the factors is human nature. I think people just don't like change. They don't like risk. They don't like change. So they know, like Battlefield, for instance, Call of Duty, they know that's a well-established series like Mario, etc., and they know it's a safe investment. I think at the end of the day, people don't want to waste money, or they don't want to take the risk on something that's unknown. And that's sad for the industry because there's so many awesome gems that are at especially indie, which we'll be talking about. The Nintendo just had another direct just this week. So yeah, so that's it for Battlefield. It's huge. And then you want to lead, or thinking of indie, why don't we just lead into the indie direct that just happened? So what did you think about it, man? The one game I'm really looking forward to, I thought looked really good as well, Dweller. It's a Nintendo Switch game, but I hope that they have a Nintendo Switch 2 patch. But yeah, that one looked really cool. Demon Slayer looked kind of interesting. Let's see what I forgot. Winter Burrow looked kind of cool. So yeah, overall, it's just a bunch of little indie games. Strange Antiques was kind of cool, but there was really nothing for the Switch itself. There was one. That was Switch and Switch 2, but yeah, and a couple, actually two, a Ball Pit as well. But most of them were just Nintendo Switch. So Nintendo Switch is still getting the bulk of the on the
indie side. That's no surprise. That's no
Yeah.
surprise, man. That's no surprise at
because
all.
they probably don't have development kits.
Exactly.
And two, they probably can't perhaps afford it. So well, I don't know if they can
No,
afford it.
well,
I'm pretty sure Nintendo
it's
gives those
also-
away free, right? To them?
No.
Look at Jared. He's like, no.
You've got, so on the indie side, you have to think like Nintendo's slowing down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like development is going to slowly start because that's Nintendo, right? Like they're still following the traditional console sort of market of like, you want to migrate as many users as you can over to your new hardware, especially if you're making money on that hardware. You want to do that, right? Because then not only do you get the paycheck from buying the hardware, but you also get all the licensing from all the games they buy. So you're incentivized, like, yeah, let's get them over onto our new platform. But if Microsoft can't even get a software development kit, there's like no chance in hell that
indie company,
indies are going to get software development kits. So
And that's kind of sad.
what you hope is that they make it unlocked. Like, if
Yeah.
you, because then at the very least the game can naturally run at like a higher frame rate or something like that on the Switch too. But also just from a business standpoint, right? Like if you're an indie developer, you know that Nintendo's going to be slowing down their support, right? Like you know that, and that leaves a huge market, like you said the other day, like 150 million units sold plus. That's a massive market
Oh, yeah,
that's
huge.
looking for games. Why not, like why not cater to that particular market? So I think it's like a combination of quite a few different things that are happening all at once. But no, the thing with the direct that I was kind of like, huh, why do two? I was like, why didn't you guys just do a regular direct for like 45 minutes?
Yeah, they could have, but you have to remember they always do their Indie World Direct, which a lot of people look
No,
forward to.
I get it. I
can understand why but they did it so close together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Wait it out a little bit, but at least we got some good. Thinking of a surprise that was on the list was Content Warning, which is a very niche, kind of very popular PC game. It's not my cup of jam. It's where you do, it's kind of like I don't know what you would call it. It's film your friends doing scary things to become a spook tube famous. So it's basically you're recording stuff to put on quote unquote spook tube or YouTube. So it's kind of like mimicking real life, shorts and stuff. Not my cup of tea, but it's very popular. So each their own. But yeah, it's coming on Nintendo Switch, and of course it will have a Switch 2 port. But honestly, I think Switch 1 pretty much could do the visuals, maybe a little frame rate issues here and there, but yeah, the visuals aren't exactly, the game's not known for its visuals. But yeah, so yeah, I kind of agree with you. Maybe it was 2 back to back, but hey, at least they're keeping momentum going, which is good. But now what are we going to wait for? What if there's no direct for 3-4 months, right?
Well, there should be one in September about Nintendo. I mean,
we know about that, yeah.
We know they've got Kirby this month, but we don't know much else. I mean, we know that in October they have Pokemon. So is September like no release?
Do you mention Metroid Prime or it's the Kirby?
I don't know, man. Like Metroid, it's not looking like. I don't know.
They claim it's still coming out this year, but we'll see.
They can claim whatever they want.
Jared.
I don't know. I mean, they've got 3 big games, right? Like that are still unknown, which is Hyrule Warriors, it's Metroid, and Kirby. There's no chance. Like Kirby, there's 0 chance of that. We haven't even seen in-game footage.
Yeah, nothing. Unless they do next month a direct virtually showing it, or showing a bulk of it. But you're right. I don't know. And Kirby Air Ride or whatever it's called, I think that's going to be a smaller game for them. I'm pretty sure it'll sell decently, but I don't think it's going to be a system pusher. So maybe they'll just, give a few minutes of gameplay, and that's all she wrote. Who knows? Yeah. Oh, another thing that's not really indie, but it was just announced a day ago. Heretic Hexen is coming to Nintendo Switch. It's going to feature mod support, which is extremely rare for consoles, because on the PC side it's been like on virtually day one. That's old news for us, and we don't even think about it because it's expected. And it's crossplay and it's online too. So, crossplay, of course. It would be online, but yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I might get. Cause I used to love playing Hex and Heretic. Those were some of my go-to games back in the day.
That's back in the day, man.
Yeah, it's oldie but goodie. But man, they really haven't updated the visuals. Obviously, they made it compatible with the modern systems for widescreens and stuff like that. But it's old retro, quote unquote, boomer shooter, and I might pick that up, and it's pretty cheap. So we'll see.
Did you finish Donkey Kong, by the way? Have you played?
No, I did not finish Donkey Kong.
Have you played it at all?
Well, I played it last night. Okay. Was it last night or the night before? But a little bit. I'm trying to figure out how to get this one banana that's underneath. I think I have to go underneath and hit it down, but who knows? But yeah, now it's kind of interesting how addicting it is just to find everything, right? Yeah. And going around and yeah, it's a good game, guys. Really good game. You think really Game of the Year caliber? I still don't know, but
I am sure it's going to be on bajillions of lists.
I checked the other night when I was playing. You already put 10 hours in it, which is decent, but you haven't progressed much since.
Because like I got obsessed with Dragon Quest. I put in the same amount of time. I'd have to check. I'm not sure if I passed 100 hours yet, but like it's coming. Like, but that's the type of game. I mean, I can spend like 9,000 hours. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But yeah, I do have to get back because it's like it's really good. It truly is really really good. It's just I've been so obsessed with Dragon Quest because I have a class that I've been really enjoying, and I'm getting like like some of the best in class, best in slot gear and stuff like that. And it's a little different than it is in other MMOs. Like you don't have to like farm specific bosses and stuff. It's you like it's really hard to explain, but like some of the accessories and stuff, if you have multiples of an accessory, you can merge the two accessories together and you get a random like bonus effect that's placed on it. So it could be like, HP +5, MP +5 or whatever, but it's all RNG. So that's how they get you. So it's instead of like fighting the same dude over and over and over again, whatever it is that you have to do to get that accessory duplicated, it takes forever. Like it takes forever. And there are boss components and stuff like that. So yeah, but I've been having so much fun, and I'm like, you know what? There's nothing for me in August and September now, so why not? Right? Like I'll have fun with Dragon Quest, and I mean, DK. What's so good about it is like it's really easy control wise, like to get back into.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's not the type of game where you kind of forget and know what the hell.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much. Oh, there was another game that looked kind of interesting. Or it's on PC, highly rated, by the way, is UFO 50, which is a collaboration of like 50 games.
Oh yeah,
like
I saw that.
Yeah, that looks very interesting. I didn't really know about it until the Nintendo Direct, but it's very huge on PC. It's one of the highest rated PC games on the year it was launched. I think it was last year. So that says a lot. And obviously, it's old 8-bit visuals, a little bit better than 8-bit, give or take, but it's around that visual style. But again, it's good to see games that are not about graphics that can be extremely successful and different. I might pick that up. I don't know. I'll probably get on the Switch. I don't know if it performs a little bit better on PC, but dude, it's 8-bit visuals. Anything could run at a toaster, so I don't think Switch should have any issue other than maybe loading times. But yeah, something you guys might want check out. Overall, I thought it's a typical indie thing. No real big surprises. I was surprised at the content warning because I didn't think it would be a type of game that they would want to release on Nintendo platform. But yeah, it did really good on PC. It's cheap, by the way. It's not expensive, so who knows what the Nintendo price will be. But anyways, yeah, and since we were talking about Square, let's lead into the Square news, which isn't very good right now, Jared, because they are having some financial issues here. Their latest Square Enix latest financial results, net sales is a negative 15.2%. A little fluctuation, actually. Different reports say a little bit different, but it's virtually identical. Operating income negative 55, down 55%. Reason for HG Games net sales down due to lower sales of new titles compared to the last year, which had 3 Kingdom Hearts catalogs titles on Steam. Operating income up mainly due to lower development and advertising costs. So there's some good stuff with the operating, but yeah, I don't know, man. There's other numbers as well. You guys, if we could put the link there if you'd want, if you're interested, or just Google it. But yeah, what do you think about that, Jared?
Well, did you read not just the little thing? Did you actually go into the PDF and like look? It's interesting. It's actually interesting. Yeah. I mean.
Oh, you're more of a business guy, so you would definitely have a good insight on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not overly surprising, to be really honest. There wasn't much out this quarter.
I think it'll pick up now, though, right? Because you got some.
Well, new games I'm scrolling down right now. So like here, HD Games net sales down year over year on lower sales of new titles, profits up on lower development cost, amortization, advertising expenses, etc. So like the net sales were 8.9 billion yen, and in the prior fiscal year they were 12.3. So I mean that's down 3.4 billion yen. That's quite significant.
Yeah.
But if you look at like the major titles that they had, like Bravely Default, right? on Switch 2. That didn't set the world on fire. You've got upcoming. You got Dragon Quest 1 and 2. You got Octopath Traveler 0, but Octopath Traveler 0 is like kind of a remake of the mobile game. So it doesn't have microtransactions and stuff like that. You've got Final Fantasy VII Remake that's coming to the Switch 2 and the Xbox Series S and X. And you got Final Fantasy Tactics. But outside that, I mean, there's really not much upcoming. So I think next quarter is going to be equally as bad as the one that just happened. What I do find interesting is their digital entertainment section. So that is net sales and profits down year over year. The net income was 9.6 billion yen compared to 12.5 billion yen. And the operating income was 3.6 billion yen compared to 6.6 billion yen. So almost a 50% decline in the operating income of Final Fantasy 14 and Dragon Quest 10. And it's funny because like they put like the patches, like their last patches were, so for like Final Fantasy was August 5th 2025, is so like a few days ago is when it came out. And for Dragon Quest, it's actually this says May 14th, but it's actually the new one is coming out August 27th. But I think it's because I don't know so much about Final Fantasy 14, but I can tell you for Dragon Quest 10, they've really moved away from gameplay. It's basically a movie now. So you do like a little bit of gameplay and then you watch a like half-hour cinematic type of thing. And I think people, like, I just think the community is kind of like getting fed up of that. Like where they're just like, okay, like, you know, could you add a little game into this game? Like, it's getting kind of ridiculous. So I was kind of happy with what I saw today because they actually did it early this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. They had I think it was like 5-hour broadcast talking all about the future of Dragon Quest X. But across the board, I mean, when you look, I think it's a combination of things. I don't think there's that many exciting games that they have coming out right now.
Well, I hope that their one for Switch 2 is going to be pretty good. What is it called? That Elliot one, right? Or something.
Yeah, but dude, that's all the way next year. God knows when. That could be December of next year.
But I do recommend everyone check out the demo.
Yeah, for sure.
And but a quick question though, maybe I don't know, man. I think Square has a little niche market with their 2D HD remake thing. A lot of people like it, but I don't know, man. It's weird how Square used to literally release garbage with their name on it, like kind of like Blizzard and their Prime. It's like, well, Blizzard don't really release garbage, but basically Square doesn't have the pull power I don't think it used to. You agree with that?
Well,
besides maybe Dragon Quest, maybe, but
well, I think again everything depends on sales and stuff like that, like everything. So like I'm looking right now, what's their global? What was the global amount? You had it in the thing. So what was it? Just curious, does anyone actually have like the dollar amount? I read it to you guys before. Okay, hold up. It was operating, okay, net sales and profit. There's got to be fiscal year 25 Q1 and 26 Q1, which is what they consider this. So yeah, man, I mean, yeah, it's almost a 50% decline.
It's big.
But I want to see, like, what are we looking at in terms of numbers? Because, like, you know, the way we talk, 32.9 billion yen in USD. Like, what is that? Yeah, okay. So, I mean, you know, they made 225 million in the quarter. So, I mean, but still, compared to 2 years ago, it was 400 and something
A
million. So
big
I mean,
drop.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big drop.
We'll see. We'll see. They got some good stuff. I am curious on default. Deep. What was it? Bravery default. What is that? Default Zero. I'm curious to see if that remake will do well. Traditionally, mobile games when they translate to consoles don't usually do that great because their core designs designed for mobile. So we'll definitely see if it's a good game. I hope it does well. I'm really hoping Elliot will be a big hit when it comes out next year. I think it will be. Who knows when it's coming out though? But there's a demo out, so chances I'm thinking first quarter of next year. I mean, don't quote us, guys, but usually when demos are available, that means the game is deep into development. It's pretty much, they're probably bug fixes, enhancements, improvements, that stuff like that to performance. But when the demo comes out, that's usually indicator that it'll be out within the next 6 months. Usually,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
I don't know because they're saying that Octopath Traveler 0 is winter. It doesn't even have a release date, and that's coming out before the other one. They wouldn't release both at the same time.
so maybe it's a summer release. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. But you should try it. Did you try it yet? It's actually
No,
really
I
good.
haven't tried it, but I'm gonna probably do it today.
It's heavily in like Zelda.
Zelda is right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But
That's
man,
where all the reviews.
I love the look of these games. Like
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
so good, man. Like I just love that.
Like the Aka was a traveler matter. Octopath Traveler. When I first saw that level with the guy who was a pimp, and one of his undercover. Well, she was undercover, pretending to be a prostitute, and then he goes, "Whoa, you got something like you got a mouth. I got something to put in there." I'm like, "Wow!" Like Nintendo allowed this. How times have changed, man. Years ago, the Super S era, that never would have had been. Maybe N64 era, maybe.
Well,
But
by
who
then,
knows?
yeah, by then, like they had already
Yeah,
changed.
Conker's. Yeah. Conker's Bad Fur Day, and that was a great game back. You remember the piece of poo with corn teeth? I was like, oh Jesus! And he was drinking that EA. We were that E3. I think remember we were there, and they were. Where's that with you guys? I used to go. Before we went, they were giving out booze. It was like, wow, Nintendo.
Yeah, but they were
E3 with
trying, right?
booze.
They were trying
Yeah.
to like change that up and whatever. But yeah, anyway. So
Anyways,
I mean, I
so-
don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes of all of this. To be really honest, I mean, I don't. I just think I mean, they just did a huge reshuffle of their producers, their hierarchy, and all of that. But I mean, honestly, like we'll see. You need games, right? Like you can't improve sales if you don't have games.
You got games. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Very true. Okay, another big news though, Sony. Now this is something we discussed years ago. If you guys follow our podcast, I don't know how many years ago. It was probably 10
oh,
plus
dude,
years ago.
dude, we have
Anyways,
discussed this every week for the last
Yes.
6 months. You have
but
mentioned
I'm talking about
this.
a comment that Sony said about
Yeah,
the
yeah, I know,
future.
I know.
And they said basically their vision is that PlayStation will be a brand like Steam, and the consoles are not the future. But then they kind of, they never really said any much post until now. So now, and of course, their investors are really, really happy. PlayStation moves forward with third-party releases on Xbox and Nintendo, and investors, of course, loving it. Of course they would, because that means money, more potential sales. And this is what we've been talking about for a long time. It's just not sustainable, especially Sony. They tend to go for the big budget AAA type titles, and they need to make their money back. And yeah, the age of exclusives are, I think, a thing of the past. And like you said, last podcast, but podcast before, the console wars are over, and Nintendo won. So
well, yeah, exactly. So like everything, like what I've been saying forever here, right? Is if you make a box, right? You need exclusives. You need a reason for people to buy your box.
Yep.
If they don't buy your box, then you're not going to have the massive amounts of money on your platform, like because you're not going to have that many games being sold. So what is interesting with Sony is when you look at their first party sales. If you look at their first party sales, that's not where they make their money. They make their money on licensing. So whenever I hear comments like this, it's like you're you don't actually make money on your own games, guys. Like that's not where you're making your money. So a comment like that basically is like, so we want to go bankrupt. Because like you don't make your games don't sell Mario Kart levels. So
which is weird. You think about
like if you release your stuff all over the place, you can increase those sales 100%. But you're making more. Look at their financials. It's all public, guys. Look at how much money they made on licensing. So when I saw that, like Ahmed immediately contacted me. It was like, I don't get this. I'm like, it. They've started, right? They've started to release stuff in other places, but it's I don't know. I mean, I get it. You can't. We've talked about this 100 times, right? Like The Last of Us Part 6 is going to cost them like $3 billion. You need it to sell. The catch is that their games just don't sell that crazy. Some do. Absolutely some do. But not all. And you can see it when you look at like here, let me give you the here wait.
Yeah, it's interesting you compare. It's like Nintendo's games, their first party games just raking in big bucks for them, right? And Sony just doesn't can't compete on that level. But yeah, license. So it's interesting. Well, maybe they're going to be more to licensing out their franchises and let other developers do the work for them. Who knows?
Okay, so here we go. Right? It's where the hell is it? What just happened? We just
someone made a.
Where the hell? We just got it. I swear, sometimes these things, man, it kills me. Okay, here we go. So 2 days ago. Okay, so Sony has announced PlayStation 5 sales of 80.3 million units shipped worldwide. Okay,
that's good.
Yeah, sure. It's good. It's said of okay. PlayStation Network subscribers are up to 123 million users. Okay, as part of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. But listen to this. Combined sales of PS5 and PS4 games hit 65.9 million copies for the past quarter. So another rise year over year by 12.3 million. Of these 65.9 million, 6.9 million were Sony first-party games.
So you see
it's not bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But of the cumulative amount of money, think of how much money you just made. You made like, my God, like 50. What is that? 56 million games you got licensing like royalties off of. Like that's significant, man. That's really, really significant.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder I mean, maybe they're eventually gonna give up on hardware, but then that would mean they would hurt.
But that's it, exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing is, and we discussed before we recorded, they're not Steam. They're not even remotely close to that.
That's it.
They have a long way to go if they want PlayStation to be like a shop thing for every platform like Microsoft's doing. They're way behind.
Now, wait, so, and I'm gonna put this out there for all of you as well, right? 90, I think it's 89. Let's round up to 90. 90% of people that buy a PlayStation don't buy Sony-made games. That tells you something. I mean, that tells you something. Whereas, look at those numbers on Nintendo. Right? Because we just did, right? Like we just had their latest financial.
Yeah, look at how Mario Kart World's almost a 1-for-1.
Exactly.
Almost.
Yeah. That's a good point. Like in 1 month, they sold almost 6 million units. Okay. And Sony's entire was 12.3 in that last quarter. So it's just to give you an idea of like the difference between these different like companies. I think like Microsoft didn't care. So Microsoft pulled the plug. They saw the writing on the wall. They were like, it's been 2 generations that our box is not shipped like at all. Screw it. We need to sell, right? We need to sell games. And now there's heavy rumors that Game Pass is about to be killed.
Really?
Well, they're just not making enough money off of it, and so yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see an evolution of it or it's just going to be phased out, because the whole purpose of it was to pay a subscription and get a bunch of games. But now they're breaking it apart, if you notice, where now you got multi tiers, and like the most basic tier you don't even basically get anything. It's like turning into like a game, like a Xbox Live type of thing, where you're not getting those day one releases. You have to buy the ultimate Omega package. So clearly this is not working. Like, it's not doing what they thought it was going to do. But I get it from Microsoft's standpoint, right? Like, they were just like, kill it. Like, just make the hardware niche. We'll make the hardware niche and we'll put everything everywhere. And look, like, what was it? Like the top 5 games or something on PlayStation were published by Microsoft. But the thing with Sony is, with all the stuff that I just said, that like they have to be very careful, because their studios do not sell enough they're not Nintendo. You know what I mean? And it's like, if they go full third party, they're gonna lose a ton of cash, like, because you won't have you won't have the licensing.
I think they'll still what they'll probably do is, like Major League the show that's been on Switch and PlayStation.
Yeah, or they'll do the exclusive. Well,
they'll do
thing, right?
They'll do exclusives made for 6 months to a year on their platform.
Exactly. That I
stuff
can
like
see.
That. But the thing is, like you said, is their games don't sell as much, so it's not like they're making that much money. And if this happens, man, people might just say, "Oh, well, screw it. I'm not getting a PlayStation. Why should I?"
Well,
there's no reason to. Yeah,
and,
you see,
and that's where my confusion comes in with these statements, where it's like, if you're Nintendo and you sell gajillions of copies of your own games, whatever, yeah, you have the spending power to do whatever the hell you want to do. But Sony does not have that. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. When I read through that, I was like, I'm a little perplexed, guys, because if you get out of the hardware business entirely, you will lose all your money that you're making in licensing right now. And then where are we actually going to play? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, where
you have to also remember, that too. You have to remember that Sony doesn't make that many games to keep their service alive, right? There's only a couple other first party games a year, if that, and then the second party games. I guess you could, like Concord was second party. But look what happened there, man. I don't know. Sony screwed the pooch big time. I think a little bit of arrogance like that. Yeah, that's another thing too. Is like that Concord thing. Didn't those executives were told? I'm sure they were, that their competitors are free to play. It's extremely risky to put it as a
from what I've gathered on there, it's like pretty much like one executive was like, oh my god, this is the future, and blah 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 blah, and was able to like weasel his way up to basically get carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. But as soon as this thing failed, and it failed as spectacularly as it did, my understanding is now they put like the whole live service thing on kind of like a hiatus to be like, okay, whoa, because can you imagine the money? Like that,
they lost a lot,
hundreds of millions of dollars, not just in development time, but like, you have to think of like all those developers, it's crazy, man. So
and they shut down that studio too.
Of course, man. Like, there's no do-overs in the world anymore. It's like you do or die, and like that's pretty much it. And it's crazy, man. But anyway, with this whole thing, I'm really curious to see where the industry grows. When I see this, I can sort of visualize that it's like, okay, you're gonna probably do the year thing or something like that, because if you stop incentivizing people from buying your platform, you risk them leaving. The only question mark is, where do they go? That's the question mark, because like, if Microsoft now is gonna de-emphasize hardware, then where do console gamers game?
Maybe on PC, because I remember you could play PC games with a controller. So it's virtual.
No,
Dude,
no,
you
but
know
it's
not.
not. It's not. It's not that, man. They're two completely different markets. So you
Oh,
get
you
the
mean the cost element?
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
it's.
no, no, not that, dude. I just want to sit on my sofa, press a button, and the game works. I don't want to have to worry about
Mhm.
drivers. I don't want to have to worry about updates. I don't want to have to worry about any like Steven is the perfect example.
Yeah, but it's so easy, dude. I can remember back when I first started PC. Yeah, it was a hassle. You had to go manually download before
No,
Windows
but
updates was a
you
thing.
you right now.
Nowadays, it's so easy, though,
Where's your
man. It's
TV?
no.
Where's your TV?
I don't have a TV in my room.
No, that's my point. So where's the TV of the house?
In the living room,
Perfect. How many PCs are connected to it?
none.
That's my point. That's the problem. So my
Yeah, but I
prediction.
don't watch TV, so I'm a bad
No,
example.
no.
of
I'm
that.
just.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying that like most of us don't have a PC connected to our TV, so the root problem we're not addressing. Like Steven doesn't want to go into a room to sit on a desk to do this. That's not that's where
I
the
see.
market splits, is that you get the people that want to come home from work, sit on a sofa, push a button and have it on their 900 inch screen TV, and away we go. But that's where I can see the rise of the Steam machines coming back. If Valve, I point up here because that's where my Steam Deck is, if Valve is smart and you're watching all these comments about Sony doing this, Microsoft doing that, I think get a partner, get one partner. Not like you guys did last time. That was the dumbest thing ever, where you had like 900 configurations of Steam machines. What was it, like 20% or something like that of games actually worked on it? Now, with the Proton layers that they have, it's insane how many like games. Like I think it's over 90% of Steam games work on like their Steam OS. Now might be an interesting time to start to think about that, because I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Like, why the hell would I care if Microsoft, Sony, and all these other guys are going to release their stuff and I can buy a third-party box that gives me the best of all worlds? So
Yeah, you're right.
I think something's got to happen, right? Because you're not going to abandon the console market. There are billions of dollars that are in this market. No, like you'd have to be a complete blithering idiot to just like, okay, I'm gonna give up that whole thing. And that's why I keep saying, I'm like, well, gamers got to play somewhere, and I'm sure you'll get some that will go off to the PC route for sure, but you will have the others that are like, what the hell? I just want to take my box, plug it into the TV, and away I go. So I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see. We will see. But yeah, PC gaming is not as difficult anymore like it used to. Everything's fully automated and drive. And there's some driver issues here and there, but extremely rare. And most of them are hammered out. And man, they got these. An NVIDIA has their app. Windows.
Yeah.
It's
Of
so
course. No.
it's so easy to. I do admit, years ago it was like the whole plug and pray meme, where plug and play was plug and pray that it
Yeah.
worked. Those days are long gone. Systems are so seamless and streamlined now. They're virtually. Consoles are almost like PCs, and PCs are almost like consoles. So, yeah, but I do admit, though, you're right. You don't want to go to a desk. I mean, you technically could hook up your PC to your living room PC TV. There's no reason not to. But the problem is games are not going to be optimized for like a 55 inch screen, right? So you could have some display issues. I don't know. It'd probably be okay as long as it's not widescreen, but. Yeah, so I can understand that factor. I always thought the big hurdle was cost, because consoles are your best bang for your buck, right?
Well,
500 bucks,
but that,
$600.
yeah, of course. Like that's going to be part of it as well, of course. But I do think that you're going to get a fork in the road where people are just like, like I just want to have this little box that I can play with. But anyways, let's not kid ourselves, guys. Xbox and Sony are not going anywhere.
Anytime soon.
Yeah, anytime soon. Like there will definitely be an Xbox 16.5 and there will definitely be a PlayStation 6. Like there's no question about that. And meanwhile, while all these guys are off doing their thing, Nintendo's just going to continue to dominate everything. And, and there we go.
Yep, make money, tons and tons of money.
Yeah, they're
I don't
killing
think
it.
to nose-wise, I think that's pretty much it. Ninja Gaiden Rage Brown's getting excellent reviews. It looks like a great game. So I knew it was going to be.
You can't. You got to finish that sentence, man.
Oh, what is that?
Well, Shinobi, the demo of Shinobi is
Oh.
out, and people are
Yep.
flipping out. They're like, that
Oh, really?
is, yeah, they're like, it's absolutely incredible. So
Yep.
both, it's a good time, man. The '90s
Yep.
ninja scene's coming back.
Yeah, it's old school retro gaming at its best. Well, these aren't really retro. Well, they're 2D, but yeah, they're good stuff. I'm thinking about getting Ninja Gaiden probably when it's on sale. Who knows? And they said it has some interesting mechanics. It's really well. It has a story, a little bit of a story, but those games are never known for their stories. But yeah, if you guys have been playing Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden or any of those other games that we were talking about, the ones that are coming out, let us know. But yeah, it's good stuff. So it could be interesting to see what happens with Sony, man. But yeah, they're not going to be leaving any. This is probably not for next 5 to 10 plus. Now their games coming out on other systems will be real quick, I think. But the hardware is going to definitely be there for a while. Kind of like what Steven was saying when he made that comment: would I buy Mario Kart World if it was on PC?
Yeah,
Probably.
no,
I would,
you
depending.
never. No.
Well, it depends on how. It depends on Nintendo. If knowing Nintendo, they wouldn't have cross-play, which means that the PC queue could be really bad if it doesn't sell. That's the baby. It may be in sense of Nintendo. I know Nintendo; they're freaking still behind times. They would release it without cross-play like buffoons, and then screw the PC people, right? And that'd be their little arrogant way to save cost and say, "F you! If you want the true experience, you come over here on the Switch."
Okay,
too.
Nintendo
Dude, I'm
is
telling you, man,
never doing.
they're never
this.
going to do it.
No, never.
But if they did, am I right that they wouldn't release it with crossplay? Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't see them.
God.
I don't see. You know what? Honestly, I can't even say that because
Oh, it's hard to
wouldn't-
say. It's hard to
wouldn't-
say.
They wouldn't ever release something on other hardware. Like that's never gonna
No.
happen. But hey, did you guys see? They announced. I think it's called My Mario or something like that. I'm all for this. This is like good job, Nintendo. It's aimed
What?
at like 4-year-olds. And
Oh yeah, I saw a report about that. Yeah.
yeah, no, that's brilliant. Because remember last week or the week before, or whatever, we talked about that survey that was done that spoke about like, male, female, and like the age group in Japan. And it was not good news, guys. Like, when the average player of Mario in Japan is like 35 years old or whatever it was.
Yeah, I was
a
giving
big
Pegasus
problem.
I was giving Pegasus a hard time because he goes back to old stereotype Nintendo's for kids. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Kids are not playing Nintendo play. I mean, of course there are some, but on a vast majority, they're not. And
So-
this is good because they need to get the young generation
That's
because the
it.
fans are getting older, man. And if they don't, their future could be in some turmoil. So
Well, yeah,
it's-
exactly. It was like you've got to build, and I've always used the analogy or the comparison to Disney because like I always felt that was a close kind of comparable with Nintendo. Disney's brilliance was that I'm not talking about like the 30s here when they first started out here, but like, into the 70s, let's say 70s, 80s, 90s. The brilliance was that you grew up with these cartoons. They were not easily accessible. So you couldn't just go and easily like, see Cinderella or whatever again. And then when it came out, it was like a big event and you would take your kids to go see these. And it was like this perpetual cycle that they were constantly filling with, oh, kids, here you go. These are movies for you. You're going to grow up. And when you grow up, you're going to take your kids back. Yeah,
yes.
exactly. And it was like constantly fulfilling itself. And then they have the theme parks and they have, blah, 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 blah. With Nintendo, if you look, we've got theme parks now, heavy merchandising, movies. And it's
So,
like,
yeah,
it's like they're trying. And so I was really happy when I heard this. And we never even told people what it is, but it's basically like an ultra young line of products aimed at introducing Nintendo characters to the
So
very
young children.
yeah, really young children. So there's like one mobile offering where it's Mario's. It's sort of like Super Mario 64, the intro screen there.
Demo, yeah, where you stretch them
Yeah.
apart. Yeah,
And you
that
can
was
do
cool.
stuff like that, and you see like the little kids are playing, and he's going like woo, and all this kind of stuff. And then there's one where it's like toy blocks, but they double as like amiibo. So just little things like that. I was like, okay, good for you guys. Like that's smart. That's really smart to do that. You need to introduce the younger people into your platform, or yeah, it's gonna die. Because Steven and says it all the time with what is it, Roadblocks or whatever, something like that.
It's huge with kids right now. Huge with kids.
Yes, and even adults, we are all migrating away from single package products. You just said it today, right? Like where Shuhei Yoshida was saying about like we have a problem as an industry, when I'm making this up, guys, but like 8 of the top selling video games are from 2016 or before.
Yeah, that's what he said. Year after year, there's a problem that they continuously play the same games.
Yeah, and that's a huge problem for an industry.
Guys, is a main series like Call of Duty's a yearly release, so he's talking about not the actual, literally the same game, but the same series, etc. It's where there's not
yeah,
much
but in
diversity.
some cases, man, look, in some cases, like Grand Theft Auto Online,
5, it's still being played. It's still huge.
It's huge.
And I just remember those troll, or not necessarily, they weren't trolling, but they really thought, they said that with Grand Theft Auto 6, they've missed the window, that their user base has gotten too old and it won't buy it. Yeah, bull. You know what I'm talking about? Bullshit there. It's going to sell, and it's going to sell like hotcakes. And it's kind of sad. And we do need to do a podcast on that, man. We'll analyze some numbers, the trends of why people continue to fluctuate towards the Call of Duties, Battlefield 6 of series. What else is popular? Grand Theft Auto, et cetera, and that other games can't get the spotlight recognition that they deserve. So
well, it's hard, man. I mean, and you are funny because like you are one of the prime targets. I'm not actually knocking you, but how many times have you said like, oh, Dead by Daylight, or you've said, oh, Marvel Rivals and stuff like that?
Yeah, but I'm out of both you and I are way out of their demographic.
Yeah, no,
we're too old. But
I'm trying to explain, like, look at what's happening with me. Perfect example. Like, look at what's happening with me right now. Donkey Kong Bonanza is outstanding, guys. Outstanding, okay? It's an outstanding game. But for 13 years, I have wanted to play Dragon Quest X whenever the hell I wanted. And due to the complexities that were involved in doing that, I have never been able to do that until this past month, which just happened to coincide with Donkey Kong Bonanza's release date. Ever since I've had access to Dragon Quest X whenever I wanted, I have not played anything else. And it's the exact same type of thing, because like Marvel Rivals, because of Dead by Daylight and stuff like that, there's always something to do. And you always say this. You always say it, right?
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. Yeah, you're right. It is hard to keep up.
But it's not even the hard to keep up. It's how they get you. They're there's always, like Dragon Quest, August 27th, the next part of the expansion is released. What do you call that here? Like, I guess it would be like a patch or whatever, like the next big patch would be released. And with it comes unbelievable. Like, it's just unbelievable, the amount of stuff.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like, there's dailies, there's weeklies, there's events, Fallout.
Just like with you with Fallout, dude.
Exactly.
Fallout has so much stuff. God, I could get back into that game.
Oh, I'm
but
so stoked too,
tough.
because next week we get our mini season comes out, and I'm looking forward to that. But it's a great example. These are 2 games. I think Fallout is like 8 years old now or something like that. And Dragon Quest is 13 years old, and I'm not playing anything else. Those are the 2 games that I play on the daily, and I think that's what it is. I think it's just that these people are they're good games.
They're good. Because there was I was wondering, like, when live service games fail, why do some successfully there's like 4 pillars, I think, or 4 or 5 pillars. I forgot some of them, but the most important one is player engagement, which we just talked about, keeping them coming back. Events, content. Another thing too, a lot of these these live service games make a huge fumble is post-launch content updates.
Yeah.
Way too slow.
Yeah,
6
Monster
months
Hunter.
is too. Yeah,
Monster Hunter is a
too
perfect
slow.
example.
Well, that's technically not live service.
No,
it's
no,
a hybrid.
but it doesn't matter.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You got to keep your people engaged.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, like events, stuff like that. Keeping progression. Another thing too is extremely important for people is progression. I know there's people out there that say, "Well, what do you need progression for? You play the game because you love it." I go, "Yeah, that's a side, or that's objective. Yeah, you got to have fun."
No,
but people
right.
want their time to feel like they're earning something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the gameplay loop is going to get old after a while for everyone, right?
Well,
but
yeah.
if you Marvel Rivals this week, guess what just came out on Thursday? Blade, a brand new character, 3.5 season just was released with Blade. Now people come back to see Blade. Yeah. So you see this, and then in a month or two, they're going to have the new season 4. And then they always have events and rewards and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what a lot of some of these live service games fail to do. And then they wonder why their games fail. Obviously, there's more to it than that, right? But
no, of course. But now imagine if you've got a game, multiplayer, single player, doesn't really matter, that's coming out. How do you honestly compete with that? It's like it's like with me right now, like on August 27th, I'm not going to do anything else. Like, I don't care. I don't care what else comes out. There's no chance. Why? Because one of my little rings that I have is like in Dragon Quest, like when you upgrade gear, it basically has like a plus value. So it's like +1, +2, +3, like that. And it's like, oh, my ring or my belt or my whatever can now go to +4. Ooh! It's like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's really not a big deal, but it's that progression. When my hit points go up by 2, it really does not change anything. It's not going to save my character, but it's that feeling of like, oh, okay, there's something new that my character can do. They're unlocking level 130 armor. So it's been, for the last while, it's been locked to level 128. Even though your character can go to 136, that's the max level that you can hit. I love the way that Square Enix does Dragon Quest because they purposely keep it lower for this reason, so that they get you back. Like, it was only recently that you could get level 130 weapons. For ages, it was like 125 or something like that. Maybe it was 128. But it's the same thing with Fallout. Like, for the mods for your weapons and stuff, it was always 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. And then in the last big season that they did, not the last big push that they did when the show was out, they introduced 4-star mods. That was awesome, right? Because then you get all of us back. And it's hard, man. Like, I don't know, how do you compete with that? I don't know.
No, you can't. And just thinking about live service games is like, go back to Dead by Daylight, the whole ASIM curse. And what they mean by that is all these ASIM games have never been able to match or compete when they shouldn't compete, because with Dead by Daylight, they come and go. They usually a year to 2 years, they stop producing. And there's a lot of, I play on pretty much almost every ASIM. I played Killer Clowns, Evil Dead the game, which is by far my favorite. Killer Clowns is really good too. It's a silly kind of goofy time game. The Predator, Honey Grunt's excellent ASIM game. There's others, but Ilphonics, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, really good ASIM game. They support their games for a certain amount, and that's it. But a lot of these games, and all these ones I've listed besides Dead by Daylight, it has no events, no battle passes, no progression. There's progression initially, but it's capped, meaning they don't add to it. Like Dead by Daylight, every chapter releases new perks that you could mess around with different builds, like Evil Dead, Killer Clan, so no perks, Spirit Unleashed, all these different ASIMs. They do have perks. You can do builds, but they don't add new perks. So there's a cap. And that's the mistake that they're making, man. And I don't understand why it's so difficult to do when they have all these other Fortnite, all these other big, huge, successful live service games, and they know the winning formula, but they don't mimic it. Now, Phonics, I guess you can't really call them indie anymore because they're probably a decent-sized studio now. But I can understand indie companies not having the resources to maintain because it costs a lot of money to keep teams going for live service games, right? That's one thing why Nintendo is against, not necessarily against it, but they don't want to lock resources up for 5 to 10 years on a title, even though their games sell like freaking hotcakes, right? They're so lucky you'd think they would take advantage of it, but that's them. So yeah, I can understand how most indie companies should never venture into live service. It's just a mistake. But yeah, so it's like these ASIM games, it's a genre that's kind of niche, I guess, to begin with, but none of them can compete with Dead by Daylight. And a lot of them, I think, make a mistake of trying to get that big pie that they have. And that's a mistake. Number one, you should just do your own thing and make a great product, make a great gameplay loop, but progression's so important. You got to have updates. It's tough, guys. It's tough. We sit there and see all these huge success. And these devs don't have patience, right? They want instant gratification, or AKA instant profits, and they don't want to play the long con. They don't want to take the risk because it's a lot of money, right?
Yep.
They got investors to appease, and if they wait, what's this? Why is this game for the last 3 years losing us money? Well, why do we have this? Because at the end of the day, investors are going to be displeased, right?
But that's the way it works, right? Like that's literally the way it works. I just noticed the time. We got to wrap up.
Yeah,
man.
We're good.
We are good. So guys, join us next week.
Hopefully we'll have some news next week, but
we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
That's it, guys. We're out. So we'll catch you next week. Hope you all have a great week, and we'll hopefully have something to talk about next week.
Yep.
Take care, everyone.